Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you may be, you are tuned in to the Vitamin D podcast, and I am your host, Dawn Dai, here to help you get excited about your life. Now, if you are new, welcome. Vitamin D is a multivitamin for your mind, body, and soul. Here we shed light on your life so that you can live your best life, but here's the key. In doing so, that means shedding light on the good and the bad, because in order to live our best life, we have to see ourselves so that we can be our best selves. You dig what I'm saying? So vitamin D is all about curating in that. So if you're new, that's the 411 on us. And if you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that you're here. I have a special treat today. I have Grammy nominated artist Major, aka Mr. This is Why I Love You. Or even some may even say better known as the Hope Dealer. And in fact, I met Major on the red carpet at the NAACP Awards when he was dealing me some hope. And he spoke life into me. He talked about how those good things, those blessings and abundance come to those who are ready. And if we think about it, you got to act as if you already are. Remember, faith without works is dead. So in this conversation, we unpack faith, hope, love in his music and the essence of who he is. We're shedding light on what's important when it comes down to life. Major even talks how major it is that his existence exists.
I just need people to understand that we need to get out of thinking that we have to do and judge and live according to the limitation of our greatest experience. Because evolving in God, the glory of God is always going to expose you to more than you've experienced before.
And see, one of the things that we realize and we identify is that when you know who you are and the blessing it is to be who you are, then and only then can you have the capacity to be all it is that you are destined to be. We also talk about his new single, Doves Cry, and we get a little love advice from a freshly married man. It's a great conversation that I'm so excited for you to delve into. And I want you to realize and especially walk away with the essence and understanding the importance of self-love. Because in order to be our best selves, we have to love ourselves. We hear that because God is love. Now, I could keep going on and on. But without further ado, it's time for your dose of vitamin D.
Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about your life.
Hello?
Hey, Dawn Dai. Oh, shoot. Oh.
Ooh, you know this is a major moment. I said, let me pull out a major hat.
This is lit. How crazy is it that we both are rocking this? Listen, I'm going to screenshot this moment. Smile real quick. I love it.
On top of the black and white, we were definitely channeling the vibe.
Yo, that's crazy.
Major, this is about to be major because I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. Let's have some fun.
The Hope Dealer is here.
Yeah. We're in the building, and I'm very grateful. We always sync. We lock in spirit, and I think this is going to make for something pretty special. So let's just go. Let's do it.
Well, we're already going. So we met at a time when you were up for what? I think it was about 3 NAACP Image Awards.
Yes.
You had told me you had just got your Grammy nomination. You were on the heels of having the announcement of your reoccurring role on Star as the character Rashad. And you said, Dawn, I just feel good. I feel amazing. In fact, let's take a listen. This is you, Major.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful. I'm living dreams, and I just want to encourage anybody, young or old, wherever you are in your journey, do not quit. Don't quit, because it happens suddenly, but it only happens for the person ready to go.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah. You felt it,
right.
Huh?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay. I felt that.
You got it. Woo, you are a light. You are a light force, and it's an amazing thing. Every time I encounter you on the red carpet, I'm just like, you just represent all of heaven, the goodness of heaven. And I thank you for locking in purpose, because that's literally what you've been brought here to do, to bring light to the many spaces you tread.
Thank you. And I received that.
Yeah.
And you pulled in my hard chords. I felt a trickle coming out my eye. And I said, wait a minute. Because that means a lot. Because when we talk about this life, this realm, this finite time, we have to realize that we can't forget that we were created by a creator. So therefore, we have to continue to create. And in order to do that, we have to understand the power of the tongue and how important it is to speak life. And on the first day that I met you, you gifted me with speaking life. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. You're welcome.
And I think it's so amazing how you said we called each other. And who knew that we would be sitting here right now to talk and to go further of why you're coined the Hope Dealer, why it's so important to speak your dreams, but more importantly, the importance of never quitting. And, I had this thing, right? So interesting enough how you said, listen, you're here to shed light. And I think sometimes we forget, or maybe it's something that we miss. And we feel that our parents and our names, that we choose our names, right? But I'm thinking that maybe our names actually choose us. Because the fact that you can say, hey, Dawn, you are an example of light. And that I was birthed with the name of Dawn Dai. There's a continuation of others. And for you to immediately receive that, and I'm thinking of you, I had to check, because I said, is his name really major? Your name is really major. Can you share the story of your name, please?
Yeah, well, first off, I agree with you that, and it reminds me, because everything for me is faith-centered, and it reminds me of the scripture of before I formed you, before he formed us, he knew us, God knew us. And so to walk into that fullness of purpose for the name is a beautiful thing to recognize and to honor. So I salute you for being all of your name. I am major because I choose to lock in and honor the fullness of who I am. And so, Major's my real name, the name my mama gave me. I've shared this story many times, but I certainly don't have a problem sharing it again, because I want people to lock in on the non-mistake, the intentionality that God always has when he does the great work that is creating us. And I was born, and my mom got pregnant with me at what was considered an inconvenient time. She considered abortion twice. Her first time on her way to the abortion clinic because she was embarrassed, the pressure, the shame of having a kid out of wedlock, her last year of college. She went to try to get, an abortion. And on her way there, the tire goes flat. So she misses her appointment. And at that time, they didn't have a plethora of appointments where you can just get it anytime you want. And so she's heading back home. And 2 weeks later, the pressure had piled on even heavier. So she heads back, and in nearly the same spot, a completely different tire busted. And so she was like, God, I hear you. Okay, I'm going to go forward with this child, having this child. But I pray that if I name him Major, which is my great grandfather's name, I pray that he makes a major impact on the world. And, I thought that was an amazing thing, because I was a child, the pregnancy that she recommitted her life to Christ and, really locked into purpose all the more. And she let me know that just as I was about to graduate college, I was a little annoyed by that, because I'm like, yo, you could have told me sooner than this. I had to deal with major league, major minor, what's your major. And, but at the end of the day, it's a beautiful story to know and truth to know. And it just locked me into living out the full meaning of what I was destined to be on this earth.
And who are you destined to be?
I'm destined to be a hope dealer. I do believe that, to be greatness by representation of owning everything God allows
Amen.
me to touch and to put my heart to. And so I'm excited to be the fullness of who I am. I'm ever evolving. I have to make room for that as well. I think oftentimes we get stuck on our last validation, but we have to understand validation is based on a period already served, not on what's to come. So we have to continue to lock into this growth space so that we can experience the joys of always evolving.
Oh, and not being afraid to step into the light, right?
That's it. That's it.
I always tell people about the quote, and I love it. I came up with it when, I didn't come up with it. I discovered it rather when I was in college at Howard University, HU.
Hey. You know.
Ooh,
okay.
You better stop. But what I think is amazing is because the quote says, what allows a diamond to shine are the multitudes of cuts that have been placed within it. So whether it be in reference, and the first thing that came to my mind right now was your song, Honest.
Come on.
And being revealing in yourself.
That's
because if you're not honest, it's almost like fear, right? Well, you fear what you do not see, but you can't beat me with my own truth. Yeah.
It's a denial of the fullness of who you are. And we can never truly experience the beauty of life pretending. Because beauty won't greet something that's ingenuine. It only greets the person that's authentic. So you won't truly be able to boast beauty or to proclaim, I have experienced beauty, if you did never truly fully show up to it. And so, Honest was a song that helped really bring to life this philosophy that I always encourage people to live by, and that's the be cool philosophy. Be cool, own it, lock in, because the definition of cool is the unapologetic embrace of your uniqueness. When you embrace your uniqueness, you find your distinction. And right there in the heart of your distinction, you've unlocked and discovered your superpower. And then you can't be stopped. Creation says, thank you for finally showing up. Now we can get to work and it's going to be beautiful.
What you say?
Yeah.
Huh?
Now we can get to work and it's going to be beautiful. Yeah.
And hey, wait a minute. If we focus on living it now, I can see everything that surrounds me. I know that what I have access to. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
I find it so interesting that when we talk about life, and I think oftentimes when people are lacking the very thing that you're giving, hope, is because there's a loss of the vision. And just like you're saying with the vision about being honest, when do you decide to see yourself? And as I was listening to your track, Honest, it made me wonder, what was something that was hard for you to be honest about with yourself?
Honest that failure is a part of this story.
Come on.
That failing, I should say, is a part of the story. Because I learned failure is when you quit trying. Failing is going to be a part of the journey. And in those failures, in those missteps, in those missed marks, that's when you have opportunity to learn and to grow and to do better than you did the last time. To repeat the same thing, expecting a different result, would be the insanity. But to learn from the last thing that may not have worked and to perfect the areas that you could do better in will only produce a win eventually. And when you win, it's going to be mighty. It's going to be mighty. I remember my uncle, 𝘸𝘪𝘵𝘢, him and his lovely wife. I remember having a conversation with him about 5 Christmases ago. And he said to me, listen, you're a superstar and I need you to own that. I need you to stop trying to hide your light to accommodate someone else's inability to share space. He says, I need you to understand what you have is necessary.
Come on.
So he says, so either I'm going to hire you to continue doing our little Christmas parties, or you're going to be the superstar and have to tell me this Christmas, I may not be able to do it because I'm booked.
What?
And I was like, yo. And he said to me, Major, I've lost a whole lot more than I've won. But the reason people don't know me for my losses is because when I win all in. I win big. And I'm like, yo, that part right there. There it is.
Perhaps that's what it means when God will restore everything that you lost.
All of it.
Huh?
I didn't win my Grammy nomination I didn't get my Grammy nomination for Why I Love You, which is my biggest song. I got it for a song that spoke about being authentically you.
And finding you.
Why I Love You is a big, it's a huge song.
This is why I love you. I'm sorry, I had to. I know I can't do it like you, but I just said, whoa, okay, I'm done. Okay, go ahead.
No, but that's it. That's it. It made you feel that. Mm-hmm. It would be a no-brainer that should have won the Grammy nomination and the Grammy. But my nomination came through my second single that followed up with this thing. Had I decided to quit because the first song didn't get a win when I believed it should have, I wouldn't have experienced what I felt when the second song got the recognition. Case in point.
Case in point. And there were a couple of things of just, even when you're saying how this whole thing with failing and failure, I liked how you changed the narrative to failing because it's a process. And like any process, you get to the other side, and how you get there is your determination. But the most important factor is that you get to the other side, right? Yeah. I was playing your music. I got a call today, and I'm on the track, Keep On. Keep on.
Yeah, keep on.
It has the rhythm, the cadence. And my friend's like, are you up there listening to gospel music? And I said, no, girl, I'm listening to Major. And I was actually sitting in limbo, and I was like, well, is he considered a Christian artist? And I was talking to Ian, and I said, the thing that's amazing about it, or not so amazing because it's anything different, is that oftentimes I feel like we have to put on something to wear an acknowledgement. Here I am listening to a track that is inspirationally based, but never reference to how God says you have to do that. And you still know the name. It's almost like I will be known by many names. So I don't care what language you're speaking. You know who I am.
Come on, Queen. Let me tell you something. Stevie Wonder said it. And I didn't say that just to name drop, but I'm going to drop this one.
Okay.
He said himself, Major, continue to sing and write about love because God is love.
Come on.
And God will always be there. In that moment, I then was awakened to this is his formula. The reason this master of love songs wins so big with his songs is because when he sings about love, he's singing about his God identity of love, which is what love is. Never meant to be separated and this is you do this type of love here and this type of love here and this type of love here. No, it's to be fully experienced. And so I remember when writing Why I Love You and writing Keep On and writing Even More and all these other songs that I have, understanding that I could have this conversation with God all the same that I can have the conversation with his creation and it still connect.
You still gonna know his name.
That's it. That's it.
What you Major, and I guess I got a little, just worked up emotions because it's the joy. It's the joys because that's what my purpose for vitamin D. I said, oftentimes people want to get inspired. Well, first people were like, Dawn, you got to preach. And I said, well, I didn't know if I wanted to wear that responsibility of whatever that was. And I knew how I connected with God by just how you're using your music. But vitamin D is to take the place of, rather than having a preacher or that 80-year-old, 50, 60, 40-year-old, speaker speaking life and motivational, because it's like, well, where's the disconnect? So vitamin D is essentially what your music is doing. It's saying, hey, let me get to your everyday music. And as long as I get you where you need to be, because guess what? Whichever image that we see of God or Jesus, the arms are always open.
Yes. And nothing is ever wasted.
Come on.
He utilizes every vessel, every single surrendered heart, mind, gift, opportunity. He utilizes it. It doesn't even have to be fully surrendered, because if he made it, it will work for the good. And I just need people to understand that we need to get out of thinking that we have to do and judge and live according to the limitation of our greatest experience. Because evolving in God, the glory of God is always going to expose you to more than you've experienced before. And until we acknowledge that this is beyond something that we've already seen, we are not going to be able to fully experience the full potential that we as his creation have. Because there are territories that need to be taken on by his creation that have yet to be, because his creation says it can only be done this way. And he's like, nah, I need a Dawn. I need a Dawn Dai to shine her light in this space the way that she shines it. I need Major to shine his light in this way, the way he shines it. I need Chance the Rapper to shine his light the way that he shines it. I need Lecrae. I need Jonathan McReynolds. I need Molly. I need
India
Black. I need all of these folk. India. I need all of these people to shine. Brandy, shine.
What you say?
As they shine. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if we think life was to be done like the next man, we've missed it. And we've limited a brilliant God to just being a cookie cutter.
An almighty God that said, I am the light in the way. The sun does not ask for permission to shine. You cannot tell it where it can and cannot go. You can hide. But when we talk about being great, as you talked about in your song about being honest, it's going to show in the good and the bad. But what allows a diamond to shine are the multitudes of cuts that have been placed within it. Now let's go back to Keep On. Something
You're special, yo. Come on, sister.
You said,
yeah.
What's so profound is that in the track you talked about how these entities, right? You know, things can try to come in your way, but I'm going to keep on. There was an acknowledgement in which I received for the only thing that could possibly hold you back is an entity that only talks about uplifting you. And that's God. Then, okay, wait a minute. So if I'm going to play the keys and go to another song, then it makes me wonder, it makes me stand in awe of why I love you. Because while in one sense you talked about how you found love with a significant partner, you didn't forget to acknowledge the fact that you found love in yourself.
That's it. Because in order for you to expect love from another, you must first know it for yourself. And so every single song that I write has three intentions. It's three channels of conversation. It's between God and creation. It's between creation to creation. And it's also creation to creation self. And once we understand that God loves, self-love, and love to one another are all three essential. And the order of that thing to be fully understood would be God, self, and then the other. You will never truly be able to experience the fullness, because that self-love will help you see yourself for all that you are so that you know what you're giving. It says, love your neighbor as you love yourself.
What you say?
That measure comes by way of that which you give to yourself. It has to be a balance. It has to be healthy. It has to be true.
And let's think about it. If we all serve as this light, right? And we'll touch on it. You just, you're a newlywed. But if we think about it.
Shout out to the newlyweds.
Hey. Are we not supposed to edify each other and be a reflection of that? And isn't that a further, gateway to talk about how important it is to give from your overflow? Because when I have things that are flowing, I don't have to worry about containing it. And so when we talk about love, and in the words of India.Arie, is not how much you can take, but how much are you willing to give?
To give. Those are bars. It's the truth. It is truth. If we're both giving, hear me when I say it. If we're both giving, nobody's left empty. If we're both giving, nobody is left empty. It's a beautiful, beautiful, and simple phenomenon.
And while we consider the equation to be difficult, it's rather simple.
Yeah.
Because if love is the way, what can stop you? But here's the thing. While we're talking about love and we're talking about relationship, there is a sense of faith that you have to have.
Mm-hmm.
It's a knowing of not really knowing, but knowing that you know that you know. What would you say is your definition of faith, and how has it propelled you in your career as an artist?
Definition of faith would, of course, have to go to Hebrews. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It's my belief center, a commitment and a choice to believe what I know deep down is the way, is the truth, is the power. And I know I can't go anywhere unless my faith leads me. I don't succeed anywhere unless my faith leads me. That's what it is. And you can't get to faith lest you have hope. I try to help people understand that, because faith is a substance of things hoped for.
You better stop.
Yeah. And most of the time what happens is we think that those things are those things don't have to coexist in order to be fully realized, and they do. They must. I have a conversation that I'm having in my new song, Doves Cry, where I am basically saying that hope is not the denial of reality, but hope is a commitment to believe greater is on the other side of it.
Greater is coming.
It's on the other side of your try, of your yes, of your surrender, of your I will not quit. And it's always beautiful.
It has to be, right? It was the promise that's on your life to give you what? A hope and a future. See, just like you said, the hope had to lead me to the other side, because that's where I'm destined in the future. But the hope is where I have right now, because the hope is what's going to carry the step. See, as you were talking about and what faith meant to you, when I see faith, I think of my roots. Because if I have no choice but to go up, right? Because I'm heading towards the light, right?
Yeah.
The winds are going to come.
Yeah.
The rain is going to pour.
Yeah.
As the shaking goes, it's us. It's that connection, what I have, what I know. But I think, just like in your songs, how you have to be honest for where you stand. What's the soil that you are fertilized in? Where are you located in your life? And I find that sometimes it's hard for people just to sit still and just be, to breathe, to what you say, be cool.
Yeah, if people don't understand that constant life source, breath, oh my God, to take it is to acknowledge the greater work that's at play.
Come on.
To take a breath is to acknowledge the greater work at play. To take a beat, to be still, to breathe, is to acknowledge the greater work that is at play. And I offer that to so many of us. There's a word that I learned when reading the book of Psalms, and it's a word that says Selah. And Selah is basically to pause and to calmly think on all that God has done and is doing.
What you say? And we can't question for what he's doing, because you know what he's done.
Yes.
And all you have to do is live a little, and to know that each and every one of us is a walking, talking, breathing, forever becoming miracle.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Major. Now, you grew up in a plethora, a wide, high household. You're one of 13 kids, right?
Yes.
So I can already imagine what it is to probably hold on to your toy, to get your line, to get food. But let's talk about the fact of when we're outside of that and we're going on our dreams. And we can talk about faith. We can talk about hope. But what happens when that wind and that rain comes? See, when I had a moment, I was doing Bible study back when I was college, finding a home. And this one pastor, he had said that my challenge has not been what I have been tempted with, but rather to stay on course. Because sometimes we think we have to fall off the horse to whether or not we can see how the ride is. But what happens if we have to stay steady? Whether that's discipline for your dreams, whether that's the discipline to keep going. But the question is, how do you keep on keeping on, and how do you keep going when you haven't heard the voice? So at what point in your career, in your life, from whether it was Why I Love You, whether it be Honest, whether it's Life Without You in It, how did you know, or when did you know that God was listening?
I will say I was awakened early, and shout out to my upbringing, because my parents curated a faith sensitive home. And I was awakened to it early. My imaginary friend was Jesus. Everybody has an imaginary friend. I literally always had conversations with Jesus. It was, hey, where are we going today, Jesus? Oh, I probably shouldn't do that. Oh, okay. All right. I love that. Oh, yeah, I can be anything I can be. Like, literally, Jesus was my buddy, my best friend. And I remember when I thought gospel, the genre was going to be the lane that I was going to be in. Because as I shared before, I hated my name Major growing up.
Me too.
Because I didn't know any meaning behind it, and everybody had every joke for it. I'm like, why couldn't you just name me a regular name? And it was me. So they used to call me choir boy. And so gospel was supposed to be what it was, but that door wasn't fully embracing me. And I'm like, I'm not going to chase the embrace of the uninterested. I'm going to go where I am welcomed, where I am embraced, and you can feel that what I'm here to bring is answering the need of the community that's receiving it. And so I've heard God at an early age, but I always listen and look for the presence of God and the voice of God in all things. And I'm awakened to it even in moments like this. The synchronicity of us even kind of dressing alike in coordination, I believe that that's a God wink. I look for God winks as I'm traveling. And I remember one time I was on the highway, and I'm looking at how we just drive, and I'm looking at, the signs that peer over the highway to tell us where our exits are.
Come on.
Those are held up by metal bars, and we drive trusting that will never fall on us. We drive just without any fear that will ever fall on us. And I'm like, look at the work of God at play, so much so that we've gotten so comfortable to not even care about what's around or peering over us, because we know that we're protected. We have good sense to recall. And that's why it's so important to always remember where you've come from, how you've gotten over, because it'll inform you just how more qualified you are to get through what you're currently going through.
And what you say, you just got to be ready, because he can happen in an instance. That was the hope you dealt to me on day one. Yeah. He can happen just like that.
Stay ready, because opportunity ain't chilling around waiting for you to get things together. Opportunity knocks for the person ready to go. And when you're ready, we win. I see Yolanda Adams in your face. I see Jill. I feel Scott's presence. It's like all these different people I see.
I'll take it. Come on.
It's a beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I'm really excited for you, Dawn. I don't want you ever to doubt if you are in right purpose. You are locked in. Great reward is coming. Remember, and get excited because more is coming.
Thank you.
Yeah. Receive that.
Thank you. And I think sometimes we miss it. I was just telling another friend today, they were like, how's everything going? Just got casted on the series For the Love of Jason. Just a lot of things announcing with this podcast, a lot of announcing my weekend segment on the Steve Harvey Morning Show. And, sometimes things can blow, but it's just staying still and firm because it's that trust. And when God sends these reminders, it takes me to another song of yours. And you talk about when the street lights are on. And I kept listening to it because I said, okay, I'm hearing it, but I want to make sure that I'm hearing it right. You said when wisdom calls you home, if peace and treasure basically is what you desire, you better hurry up and take precaution. Now, in those lyrics, I said, okay, the street light's on, God is the light. Are you saying that those are those warning signs? That's the way to lead you home? Talk to me about that track. I wrote notes on it.
When the street lights come on, you better get home. When the street lights come on, you better get home. Listen, it is wisdom. Wisdom has been speaking to us for so long. It is a gift, that wisdom. And we best honor wisdom for all that it brings because it is warning, it is assurance, and it is the proof and evidence that God is concerned about your win. And through mama, through the teachers, through our elders, through our siblings, through our loved ones, even through our enemies, you can find wisdom. And wisdom is always speaking. And basically, it's just going back to the things that we can all relate to. We know when we were younger, our mama or our daddy or somebody, whoever raised us said, you better get home by the time the street lights come on.
Better be in this house.
Yeah, you better be in this house. Better be in this house. And it was wisdom because there's so much going on in the world. And wisdom is saying, listen, I need you to go to your cover, to your protection, that you won't have to come on.
Resting in I'm at home. I'm safe. I'm covered. I'm at peace. That's home.
Dawn, you're on it. And when I said, if peace and love you treasure, then take precautionary measure, because that is, and I also said, Stevie taught me that, because in his song, Love's in Need of Love Today, he sings that, he says, if peace and love you treasure, then hear me when I say, love's in need of love today. And we all must take precautionary measure. If peace and love you treasure, then hear me when I say, is that love's in need of love today. Woo! Listen,
baby, what?
These are the jewels that have been dropped long before we arrive to the understanding of them. But when you are awakened to them, grab hold of it, apply it where necessary, and live it out, because it will reward you and it's going to be good.
I'm just chewing. I was mentally chewing, if you didn't realize that. I'm staring into your eyes. Because what it says to me, and this is another conversation I recently had, I said, my prayer has been with God for a while, is that I can heighten my level of discernment. Whether it's discernment, whether it's faith, you know the strength of it when it comes down to the test. So even in the midst of walking and being, I had to realize what's necessary in every relationship is receiving. So I asked God for this discernment, but not realizing the capacity of what is going to be required in order to hold it. When you're being tested, when you're being tried, when you see things that looks like it's being glittered in gold, and it's not exactly what you thought that it had signed up to be in your life. And I had to say, wait a minute. That's another level of stretching. Because, discernment can always seem like a good thing. Oh, I know. But what happens, what you know, is not as pretty as though it seemed. It's a scary moment.
Listen. That's when humility gets to do its best work. Humility gets to do her best work because every champion, every warrior is one who perpetually wins. Is you understand humility is a part of your arsenal because humility will keep you in a state of perpetual learning and a state of always leaving room for the more than you. And if you do that, you will forever be blessed. Blessings will not try to squeeze their way into a space that is full of ego. Blessings will come to the one that has made room for it. Woo! I needed that. Blessings.
I needed that.
Will not try to squeeze their way into a room filled with ego. They will meet the one that has made room for their arrival.
And if you think about, isn't that what we keep waiting for, the arrival for good things to come, the arrival for blessings? But we have to understand what part of you're making room to consume. If we're so bombarded with everything, where's the love? Where's the joy? Where's the peace? Where's discernment? Because guess what? I feel like in this realm, if we speak about it, when we're not making room, it's in the realm of distraction. And so in this distraction, each time a percentage. So now my compass says, okay, 45 degrees north, then we're going to go 25 degrees south. But if I kept going, that 45 turned to 46, a step further, 48. Next thing I know, I'm perpendicular of where I'm destined to be.
Right.
And in staying, the only thing that I see is that the same thing in which we talked about this faith, this hold on, this belief, and the admittance and the acknowledgement of knowing who you are. I can't go astray. Because if God is residing in each and every one of us, we have the key to open the door to his call. But the question is, do you recognize the voice? Have you recognized the voice? So now even with yourself, you found your voice. You're using your voice. The voice has taken you with, I'm sure, many people that you have admired, people that you have looked up to. What's next for Major?
For what I know, it's going to be good. It's going to be major, and it's going to meet the desires of my heart. Some of the things that I've been working on that are expected to come, a guest star role in a new TV series that's really special. I can't announce what that is yet because there's a confidentiality agreement on that, but it is legendary.
Well, before you continue, did you know you were going to act?
Yeah, I've studied theater as long as I've studied music. Music has just been my front runner. Yeah, it's been my money maker, my principal money maker. And so it's easy for people because often people don't make the room for you to do more than one thing. And so it's not until you have to show and prove that they start believing, and that's okay in due time. Yeah. And so it's been an amazing journey on that. New music. I'm excited about the new music. I'm telling you, it's powerful. It is some special stuff. And I want to definitely have you in the room as part of the listening council before it is released. But yeah, it's some special stuff coming. So just stay tuned. I'm going to be working on some products, some inspirational products that I think will be pretty special. You know, let's just go wherever it goes.
Right. Go with the flow, right? Wait, hold on. I just thought of this. Well, we see it all the time. Shoot, if you think about it, you can't go without God. Literally. G-O-D. But, you know, when you're talking about how the music has been the forefront, completely forgot. That is the first time that I saw you when I first moved out to LA. I was a member at one church.
Oh,
yeah. I forgot to.
Okay. Hey, so we're family.
Family. See you up on there leading worship all the time. And then I remember when Harmony would come in and just to sit there and to admire your journey and seeing how you keep on progressing. And here is the thing that I love about my interaction where I came into your story. Oftentimes, we see the end result because that's how we found the name, but there's a beauty in the journey. And hence, you know exactly when we die, they say the most important part is the dash. And it's amazing that not only have I been able to witness the parts of the dash that I've seen, but I love the transparency and how you acknowledging your now in your dash, you're now in your journey. And I think that that's what makes it so much relatable, because you can say how I'm keeping on, how I may have started at this moment, but I'm excited I have a Grammy now. Yeah.
Now I'm on the board. You know, it's so many different things where I'm like, only God. How am I on the board? How am I on the board? How am I a governor for the Recording Academy? You know, only God. And now the ambassador for diversity, equity, and inclusion, you know, for the Recording Academy, for the Los Angeles chapter. That's a mighty thing. And that's when God can trust you. If the space has been open to you, God is giving you an opportunity to be trusted with the work. And so I want to rise up in that and make him proud.
I love that. And you know, just listening to how faith and how it has been a stronghold in your life and has sustained you. You know, along with being a hope dealer, I feel like you're a love dealer, a love of self,
Absolutely.
A love of relationships. So we touched on it a bit, and I just wanted to say again, congratulations on being a newlywed. And
yes.
I feel like you're at the forefront for a lot of millennials out there. And I'm just wondering, you know, what is marriage like? What maybe some advice you have for young Black love?
I would say, which was something that we talked about before, that self-love is so vital. Mm-hmm. One of the things I have to shout out one church for was its focus on wholeness. Wholeness is so key prior to stepping into any relationship, be it intimate, be it business, be it anything. Wholeness first. Mm-hmm. Know yourself, build and develop yourself so that you can be everything beautiful for that which you're giving into, which is the relationship. And for marriage is very key, that you understand wholeness for yourself, that you don't lean on someone else's perfection in order to be happy, because you'll realize that we as human beings, we are flawed and we are prone to miss the mark. So you can't put your happiness dependent on someone else's flawless movement, because that's never going to happen consistently. And so it's a lot of hard work, but it's beautiful because it's a forever companion. When it's honored the right way, you have a forever companion that's in it through thick and thin, through the ups and the downs. It's a beautiful thing for those that are weathering, this pandemic right now. I salute you, because this is a pressure cooker on all things. And so it's, the progress you make, consider it double credit, because it's a lot. It's a lot, but love will always stand. And in this relationship, I'm starting to learn more of the fullness of what love is. And it's beautiful, scary, it's amazing, it's enlightening, it's worth it.
So how did you know you found love when you found your wife?
When I started truly wanting to be the best me I could be. When I had to show up, the best, authentic me.
Show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for this.
And it's available for everybody. Love is available for everybody. You get to it sooner when you get out of the way and make room for more. For more. And it's going to be beautiful.
Amen.
You getting out of the way is not a denial of your truth. It's just you making room for the lessons needed, the trimming needed. And it's going to be the better making of you for them. And it's a sweet thing.
And it's almost like kind of like a sandwich, or something that you put on as an adhesive, or as if, like I study improv at the Groundlings, we talk about the and. It's the yes to self and what we can add more. Yes, and because as we grow, we build. As we build, we evolve. And at the end of the day, forever becoming, right?
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Dawn
I'm so
Dai.
grateful to build with you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I forgot that one more other person, Joyce Washington.
Oh, that's my heart.
Yes. Joyce and I worked together on a project a few years ago and been friends since then.
That's my heart. Shout out to Joyce. Yeah.
So thank you so much. You got your latest single out right now, Doves Cry. Is there anything else, or how we can keep in contact with you and follow you on social?
Now that's Major everywhere. NOWTHATS Major. And remember, Major's all caps with a period. I mean that thing. Now that's Major.com. Check out the Doves Cry video, which is up now. And you see the folks.
The challenge.
Hey. Listen, I am so grateful for the enthusiasm. Yesterday, I randomly went to Music Choice.
I used to work there.
On my Music Choice. Yeah. And I randomly checked out Music Choice because I was like, I wonder when I'm going to see my new song play. Literally, Usher's going off, and I hear da 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 da. I'm seeing Doves Cry. I said, oh shoot. So I'm super. Hey, I love it. I love it.
Here.
Hope ain't canceled, folks. Hope is not canceled. Thank you so much, Dawn, for having me. This is beautiful. Let's do it again. Let's do it again and again. I'm rooting for your win.
Thank you, King.
Continue to rise, Queen.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And if you had to leave the audience with one thing to walk away from, what would you say? What's your dose of vitamin D? Your dose of inspiration? Some light that you would like to shine on someone?
Make good use of what you have, because it's absolutely what you need to get to what you want.
Period.
And those were bars that were just dropped. Talk about Groundlings.
You better know. Oh, Major, thank you so much. Thank you for, one thing, I have life tatted in my mouth because I speak life. You want to see it? Okay. So this is going to be a moment. Let me show you.
Under your lip? Whoa. Did that hurt?
It was my first tattoo. So
your first tattoo.
Yeah, and I got it twice in one day because, I wasn't out there with my tattoos, and it was something that, one of the things that what I want to be known for and my narrative is that I speak life. And I said, what other way can I make sure that just to remind myself when I open my lips, I want to pour.
Wow. That's lit. That's lit. This was fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. That was major. I can't thank that brother enough for coming in. I just appreciate the fact we were just so in sync, down from the hat, down to the color. We were on a vibe, which explains how our connection and how we've been orbiting around each other's universe for some time now. But I will say that along with so many other nuggets, one that stood out to me is failure is when you quit trying. Can't stop, won't stop. Okay? Your dreams don't work unless you do. Faith without works is dead. As long as you don't stop, that means it's still working. And I want you to realize that it doesn't happen overnight, and it comes to those who are ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Also, what I love, and I want to make sure that just highlight again what Major was talking about, the importance of love. And if God is love, you got to know love with self in order to see it with someone else. You got to spend time with yourself so that you can see the God in you. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. God is the light in the way. So Major, thank you for that. And understand that this is why I love you. For everything that you continue to do in your music, to stay into your authenticity and in your truth. Thank you, brother. Thank you. And I continue to support you. I continue to see you. And thank you for taking us on this experience, this journey of love of God and how God plays a role in your life. And being a living example of that, because everything that is an extension of you, we are able to identify where you are rooted. And that's in your faith, that's in your hope. So if you'd like to follow Major, you can do so on social media at Now That's Major on Instagram and Facebook, as well as on his YouTube channel, Major. And be sure to check out his latest single, Doves Cry. It's on all of your favorite streaming platforms. And as always, you can catch us here in your phone or whichever smart device you're using each and every Monday with more inspirational insights and conversations from everyday people, heck, streaming from Dawn's mind, and even, in fact, from some of your favorite celebrities. I'm excited about what's to come. And if you're looking to get even more vitamin D in your life, make sure you follow me at Dawn Dai Speaks on Instagram and Twitter. And until next time, always remember, you are your greatest asset.